Now it's time to head back to the kitchen with Chef Paul, who's got a recipe that's perfect for brunch and especially for candy lovers. So here's what you'll need to follow along. Liquid honey and raspberry vinegar. Ooh, sounds like a good combo. Paul, this is a simple recipe that packs a flavorful punch. How easy is it to put together?
Well, it's as easy as 1, 2, basically. I love 2-ingredient recipes, and I love condiments, things that you can drizzle over food to give it an extra layer of sweetness or a little bit more complexity, and this is one of my favorites, and I bet it's one that a lot of people haven't heard of before. So all that a sour honey is, this recipe is called sour raspberry honey, all that a sour honey is liquid honey with some kind of acid added to it. So you could use wine vinegars or fruit vinegars. You could even use lemon or lime juice. In this case, I'm using 4 parts liquid honey and 1 part raspberry vinegar, which is just red wine vinegar with concentrated raspberry juice in it. So it has that floralness of raspberries, those berry notes, as well as a little bit of acidity. And it's as simple as this. I'm going to mix the two, and I'm just going to stir gently until they combine. So gently at first, because you're combining a very thick honey with a very thin vinegar, but you'll notice it starts to come together in seconds, and it has this beautiful blush color to it. And really, the way that I describe this to people is if you love sour candies, things like cherry blasters and Sour Patch Kids, this is the kind of thing for you, because it's got sweetness and it's got a little bit of that pop of tartness on the tongue.
If it is a little bit on the too sour side, how do you fix that? Or if it's a little bit too sweet, how do you fix that?
So I always giggle when I try this, because it is very candy-like. It reminds me of my childhood. But yeah, if it is too acidic, you can just dial back the vinegar a little bit. Add it a 1/4 teaspoon at a time. In this case, we've got 2 tablespoons of honey to 1.5 teaspoons of vinegar. So add a 1/2 teaspoon at a time. Mix it in, taste it, and adjust it to your liking. It's really nice and sweet and sour, and like I said, floral. So I'm going to show you how to use this in 3 different ways, because it's not just for brunch. It could be used in desserts, and it could be used next to some wine. So right here, I have some Pink Lady apple, and I've just sliced it up, and now I'm just going to use this as a dip. You could drizzle it over, you could dip just a little bit of it in there, and again, to balance the tartness of the apple, you have the sweetness of the honey, and then another layer of flavor. So this becomes a lot more than just an apple, a sliced up piece of fruit. It becomes elegant, and it's something that, excites people. So especially right now when we're cooped up at home, I love it when we can have these little exciting food moments. Share it with the family, get the kids involved.
It's just kind of nice to have something to add to a fruit we eat all the time. We've all got apples, so if you're getting sick of eating your apples or eating your fresh fruit, adding this honey to it can just make it a whole new experience.
Exactly. It's just a fun little food moment, and I mean, that's what I love about food. 2 things can become so much more than just the sum of their parts. They can become something really special. And another thing that we've talked about this before, berries love just a little kiss of acidity. So I have just drizzled a little bit of this raspberry sour honey into some fresh raspberries and strawberries, and then I've just let them sit until, look at this beautiful syrup that comes out of it. It's red, and the berries themselves get nice and glazed, and so you could spoon this over waffles or pancakes and let that syrup just soak into them. And again, it's something different. It's something that people are just not expecting, not used to, and berry season is coming up, so now is the perfect time for something like this.
Now you also have a cheese board there, and I think that is a fantastic way to incorporate this kind of honey.
Yeah, so honey is not uncommon on charcuterie boards. A little bit of drizzle of honey over top of some really nice aged cheese. It really balances that sharpness and that saltiness, but you can just switch things up again by adding a little bit of vinegar to that honey, putting it on your charcuterie board, and then you can play with all kinds of different flavors. So you could spoon it over a little bit of pear, or you can make yourself a little crostini, put a little bit of prosciutto on there, and then a little bit of cheese on top, and then just a drizzle of this beautiful honey over top. And this goes beautifully with wine. Next time you're gathering around the table with some friends, whenever that time is, this is the kind of thing that you can do to make that a really